Hi, welcome to Bigfoot Adventures. My name is Lisa, and I wanted to thank everyone for watching my videos recently. And I know you saw me in the camping trip where somebody came in on my camp at 4 a.m. I appreciate all the concern and everything. And I do have a friend, Roseanne, who's moving up there, who's going to go camp there with me next time. So that'll be in the near future once she gets settled up there. So that should be pretty fun. Also, this next story is about a family in Inman, South Carolina that had a terrifying Bigfoot experience in their backyard. And there were 6 family members that were there and witnessed this. So stay tuned. Welcome to Bigfoot Adventures. Have you ever had a Bigfoot sighting? If you have and you don't want to let anybody know that it was you that saw them, or you're afraid to tell your story because you're afraid of you being made fun of, I'd be glad to tell your story for you. All you have to do is email me your story at bigfootadventures411@gmail.com. Let me know what you want me to say, what you don't want me to say, and I can put your story out there so other people can hear about it without you being identified.
I get this feeling, I wanna run away, hit the highway and never look back. I wanna watch it fade away in the rearview mirror. Won't get lost cause I've been really off track. Lately been running, but I've not been going anywhere. I've been hiding without being found. I've been loving, but not been feeling anything. Been standing still, the world keeps spinning around. When I see you, you make me feel like I'm alive. When I see you, I know I'll be fine. You are my lifeline.
So this Bigfoot sighting came out of Inman, South Carolina, which is a very, very small rural town in Spartanburg County. It's not too far from Spartanburg and Asheville, North Carolina. It happened on August 15th, 1993. And there was a family that lived in Inman that was visiting, pretty much the whole day. They were just hanging out and spending quality family time. And they had went out and they bought a telescope that they were going to watch the stars with. And they lived in a very wooded area just outside of Inman. And they were setting up the telescope. And as they were doing this, they were just having fun. The grandkids were out playing in the yard. But their little dog kept barking and barking and barking, and he wouldn't stop barking. And he was hanging out right at the edge of the wooded area where they have blackberry bushes. And he just kept barking and he wouldn't stop. Well, as the time went, they started wondering, well, why is this dog barking so much? And it was getting close to dark, and, that it was a full moon out, and they were, thinking they're really going to be able to see some stuff on the telescope. But they just wanted the dog to stop barking. So they walked down to the edge of the woods. The grandfather did, and the father of these children. And they walked down to the edge of the woods. And the father, or the grandfather, saw something that looked like he thought it looked like a chow, one of those chow dogs. And he was afraid it was, a stray or something, and he was going to hurt his little dog. So he screamed for it to get out of here, screaming and slapping his hands and stomping his feet. Well, right at that moment, that dog stood up on 2 legs and was like 6 feet tall. He said this thing had the shoulders like a gorilla with no neck, and he said he could see the face was flat and it looked human-like. So he said when he saw this, he kind of freaked out, and his son kind of freaked out, and the two grandkids saw it, and they started immediately screaming and crying, "There's a monster, there's a monster." Well, his daughter and her husband were further back by the house, and they could actually see it when it stood up to run. So this thing starts running through the woods, and as it's running through the woods, it's knocking over these smaller trees that are like 3 inches thick and just bulldozing them over like they're nothing. Um, so they were quite freaked out when they saw this. He was just sitting down there in that gully, and after he left, of course that ended the whole night. They weren't able to really look through there. Everybody was petrified. So the next morning, the son and him went out into the gully to see if they could see anything. And when they got down there, they found hair near where the trees were knocked down. And they also found footprints that were like 18-inch footprints. So that's their Bigfoot story. And they do believe that it was a Bigfoot. They've never seen anything like that in that area before. And the kids were so freaked out they won't even go back out there in the backyard. So that was their story. And this is not too far from the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains. So thanks for listening.